Welcome to my YouTube video. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about how I do my edges, my regular edges on the regular that I usually do. I don't necessarily do some crazy ones all the time, but like this is just how I do my regular edges. So I hope you'll find it informative. So before I actually get into my edge tutorial, I'm just going to talk about some like tips and things that have helped me out when it comes to my edges for girls with type 4 hair that girls who may find their edges like never want to hold. So these are just like some tips I've learned. Though I don't necessarily have like true 4C hair myself, hopefully this tips will be helpful to somebody out there who might just want to start edges, who's tried a bunch of random things and it just don't work. So like this is like a starting point, like a base for you guys. So when it comes to doing edges, I recommend for girls with type 4 curlier hair that they use like a 2 gel thing, like process. So going in with like a water-based gel and then following that up with a thicker pomade or sticky type of hair gel. So I'm just going to show y'all some products for reference and as far as consistency, and then I'll show you what I personally like to use all the time and what I do to get that done. So like I said, for the first step, I recommend you guys go in with a water-based gel, something like a Wetline Extreme or even an Eco Styler gel. I definitely recommend you going with something like this. These gels are very water-based, like you can definitely feel that when you touch them. They're very like watery. Though none of these gels are water, there are some gels that are more like water than others. So I don't recommend like a custard that's like ooey gooey, slimy, really watery, like a flaxseed gel. I don't know if that'll really work. I've tried it, it didn't really hold for me or do anything whatsoever. So I recommend you going with one of these two, which not necessarily these two particularly, but something with this type of consistency, because it allows you to style your edges and do all your swoops and such, but it's not necessarily going to hold your hair in that place. Now after those, I definitely suggest that you follow up with a got to be glue type of consistency, a Gorilla Snot, or even a pomade. These here are much thicker, these are stickier, and they have more hold, but they don't necessarily give you guys those swoops and the curls and everything. So you can just go in with a little bit of this, well depending on your hair, but for me I personally just use a little bit of this and a lot more of these watery hair gels, and for sure. And then as far as tools go, I recommend you guys go in with a toothbrush, which most of you already know, or a rat tail comb. Nowadays you'll find like the edge brushes that come with like both of them like attached in one brush, just come like, you know, like this with a rat tail on one end and a brush on the other. But you know, it doesn't really matter, these two work just fine, the old school ones. So it depends on what you like. Some people use both, some people use one, some people use the other. For me personally, I just use the toothbrush. I've tried the rat tail, it just didn't do what I wanted. I'll definitely give it a try again because it has been some time, but as far as today and what I usually do, I usually go on a toothbrush. And then most definitely, for sure, you cannot even, you know, argue about this. It's like you can't debate about this. You definitely need a silk scarf. I have it right now in my head just to hold my hair back because my hair is out. You need a silk or satin scarf for sure. I've seen people use cotton ones or the bandanas, and I just don't recommend, because it really is just gonna like steal all that moisture and such out of your hair. It's not really gonna hold your hair in place, whereas with a silk or satin scarf, it doesn't take in any moisture, but it's gonna hold it down for you for sure. Even like a silk do-rag, that's still a silk, so it will definitely still do the job. If you're doing like a slick bun, I definitely recommend you guys use like a silk do-rag, because like why not, it's already there, it's pretty made for that. So now that I've got all my, you know, information out of the way, I'm going to show you guys exactly how I personally do my edges on the regular. So my edges have not been done at all. I'm not redoing them or anything. This is my first time doing them this week. You can kind of see my edges are kind of already like, they already have come out a little bit. They just want to do their own thing and then whatever. So typically I don't do my edges when my hair is out, because I don't like doing my edges every single day, because I feel it's unnecessary. Like whether you want to admit it or not, you doing your edges consistently every single day, you're going to begin to lose edges. Your edges will thin because that's a lot of manipulation. It's just the truth. Like no matter what. So whether you wanna, I recommend you go in with like an oil maybe a little bit first, or like some kind of treatment. Like I have this Shea Moisture Jamaican Black Castor Oil Strengthen and Restore Edge Treatment Gel. It has absolutely no hold for me, but the ingredients like Jamaican Black Castor Oil we know really do help promote that hair growth in those areas. So it is called a treatment gel, but I use it more as a treatment. I might just go in a little bit of that first, but I will admit I don't use it as regularly as I should be, but I don't do my edges very often to begin with, so that's just that. So now I'm going to begin the actual tutorial. So what I like to use hands down all the time are these two. This is my favorite combo for my edges, my Wetline Extreme Gel and my Curless Knot. These two hands down have not really led me astray yet, so I'm gonna continue with this. But I will say, like, when it comes to edges, it's definitely a process. It's a learning experience. You're not gonna get it right off the bat. I've been doing my edges for like 3-4 years. You know, when I first started out, I was trying Vaseline, I tried conditioner, I tried curling creams. Like I didn't know better, so I was just using whatever I had. And also, I was a child, like I didn't have money, so I was just using what was in my house. So I definitely recommend the 2 edge step process thing for your edges. But yeah, so also what I like to use is my mousse. If you were watching my last video, you know I love mousse. I just use it like water, basically. Like I can go to the bathroom with my brush, but I don't feel like it, and I don't have a spray bottle, so I'll just put a little mousse on this because it kind of does the same job, just wetting my edges. And also my mirrors are behind the camera, so I'm gonna be like looking not directly at you guys anymore, but I just kind of go with a little bit of mousse or water because it's just, I'm lazy right now, so just going with that. I just hold my hair back out of the way so I can really see my edges. And I do also with the mousse and the water, it also just softens my edge brush a little bit, because I know some people really like a hard edge control, like an edge brush. Personally, I'm not a fan. I prefer my brush to be really soft, but to each their own. Like, it's all a learning process. You're just gonna figure out what you like and what you don't like. So I basically coated all my edges. Oh, my hair kind of, let me push this back a little bit. There you go. So my edges are all coated. They're all like moisturized, you could say, and wet. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go with my Wetline Extreme Gel and just put my brush right in the jar because it's fine with me. So I take about, my brush is really dirty, but I take about that much. I don't know if you guys can see it, but the light is distorting it. It's not a whole lot. And for me personally, the way I like to do my edges, I like 5 swoops. 1 in the middle and then 2 on each side. That's it. That's for me. So I like one in the middle and 2 on the sides. Some people like the extra swoop here. Sometimes I do that if I feel like it. Some people like doing some really cute curly like swoops and curly pops, I like to call them, with like the curly end, like the little swoop. And I've done that as well, but that took a lot more work. I just did it for my Instagram once, so if you want to see that, you can check out my Instagram at naturallybolu. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just go in with my gel, and I'm just going to be brushing that in one motion. This is my first swoop, my middle swoop. So I'm just brushing it downwards right now, just so that I can kind of get in the direction I want. And for edges, I will definitely say, like, it takes time to almost train your edges. My edges, the first time I tried to do this, did not necessarily go the way I wanted to. But now they've kind of trained themselves, or trained my edges to do that. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah. So I'm just gonna bring that down. You can take as little or as much edges as you want. You can take your full grown hairs. It's up to you. So I'm just bringing that down towards my face and then bring it back towards my hair. So it's a nice swoop. Bam. I know some people really drag all their edges down. It's not my thing. So I'm just gonna bring this out a little and then bring it back towards my hair. And I take my finger, just guiding it in that C shape. And there we go. So we have that first swoop right there. Looks really cute. I'm going to the next side now with the remaining gel and just do the same thing now. A nice swoop. So you can see it forming. It's not exactly the way I want it right now. And these, if I put a scarf on it, but basically I had just finished doing all my edges here. I had gone over it with my Gorilla Snot. So I'll just show you again on one of my edges here. Because I lost some footage, I wouldn't typically do my sideburns, but just for the sake of the video, I'm going to definitely just have to show my sideburns a little bit because I lost a piece of footage just now. But before it cut off, I was saying that if I just set my edges with my wet gel, my Wetline Extreme Gel, they would not last. And that's because the gel wouldn't last all day. It would hold for about 25 minutes. I would walk outside and they would curl right back up. They just wouldn't hold. That's just the truth. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna show you guys the same exact process now, but just on my side edges, which are the exact same pretty much. I don't always do these, but every now and then when I'm feeling like it, I might. So I'm just gonna comb them downwards. The same process I did for this. I combed them in one direction. I really didn't do anything crazy yet. And now I'm gonna begin to form it into a C shape around almost my ear. And that's what I do. Just like that. This is actually a little too much, and because it's my sideburns, I might just take a little rat tail just to take out a few hairs. It's a little too much. But so you're just gonna form a C shape. Just like that. You can do a curl at the end and such. And just like that. If I were to lay down my edges here without going over top of it, without going on top of it with a thicker gel, it would not last. It would stay for about 25 minutes, like I said, and then curl right back up. So I'm gonna go in with a little bit of my Gorilla Snot gel here, just on top of it. A little bit of this Gorilla Snot on top, just to give it a small coating. It's like a bead because it's a really small area. I'm gonna go over it just to make sure. I'm just gonna follow the same shape.
Yo, Rich, yeah, you about to go crazy on this one.
And just like that. You have to use your, I really suggest you use your finger. Like over here, what I did was I went like this with my finger just falling behind, laying it down, laying it down, laying it down, just like that. And you can you can definitely go in with a rat tail comb and give it a really crisp and sharp look. Or you can just go with your toothbrush, whatever floats your boat. Once you begin to do your edges, you'll learn what works best for you. Just like that. And so you can see, I'm gonna go and do the exact same thing here on my other edges. See that it's like really flat and in place, but it's not gonna lay. So I'm gonna go a smidge, the tiniest, you can't even see that, can you? Tiniest bit of gel. I'm just gonna go over top of that. And then I'm just gonna do the same thing, just going over top of it. And depending on your hair, you might need way more of that Gorilla Snot type gel or way less. Depends on your hair. Everything I did on these edges are the exact same things I did on my edges over here. I went with my water-based gel, followed up with my Gorilla Snot, and then followed my Gorilla Snot, and then I'm gonna now take my scarf here that's holding my hair. I'm just gonna fold it into my shape, into a bandana style thing, and just put it on my edges, that's all. And I would definitely recommend you leave it on for 15-20 minutes. 5 to 15 minutes. Let it sit. I'll try to cover up my sides a little bit, for sure. And if you don't set your edges down then you're asking for disaster. That's just it. Because your edges may look, oh, like they're set, like, oh, I can just go out. You need to set your edges, or else the humidity and the weather is going to definitely affect it. I would definitely do this as before I do my makeup or my get dressed, so I can leave it on for as long as I need to. I'll maybe even eat breakfast in this. My edges have been sitting about 10-15 minutes now. So we're gonna take off the scarf and see what we're working with. Okay, so the edges look very, very good. I'm very happy with these edges. I would leave my house and do whatever I want to do on the day with my edges just like this. This is how I'd wear them on a regular day. Though I wouldn't necessarily like do my edges with my hair down, this is how I would typically do my edges regardless. So as you can see, my edges lay down pretty smooth, pretty flat. I don't see too much squigglies. We have a little like curl at the end, but it's not a big deal. My hair will pretty much cover all that up. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.